Electroneum is a cryptocurrency that is currently on fire. It recently made a move from half a penny per coin up to 2 cents per coin. It even went as high as almost 3 cents or 2.8 before retracing back to this level here at 2 cents. Which is phenomenal, a phenomenal return, one way or the other. You made 5 times your money in a very short period of time. And the reason Electroneum, as opposed to other coins, is doing well in a sideways market like this is because Electroneum is really a step back into the origins of what Bitcoin was, and trying to think about how to set up this blockchain digital currency whose main purpose is mass adoption of use for purchases and things of that nature, using it as a currency, not just something you hoard in order to trade and make a profit on, because the entire utility in Bitcoin to begin with is its use as a currency, in order to have less reliance and to give competition to the dollar and other fiat currencies that up till now, or up till the late 2000s, was just completely something that you didn't have a choice in. You either held dollars or you didn't hold anything. Yes, there was gold, but gold for a long time has been treated as an asset class that's taxed. So it's not the same thing. It doesn't have the transactional functionality. And so Electroneum is I would say a cryptocurrency that's mainly designed for mobile use, and one that mining income from the production of the coins is more equally distributed amongst all users. The mining is not as heavily manipulated. People with different types of phones begin mining, each contributing about the same speed. There's no real differentiation there between how fast your processor is and how much you're gonna mine by contributing to the network. And so the way that this cryptocurrency works is you download the app on an Android phone, and you keep it open, then you hit mine, and it doesn't actually use processor speed. It's mostly the mobile app anyway is simulated mining, but you're rewarded as if you were contributing that to the network. Electroneum works to 2 decimal places, the same way the dollar does. So there's a lot of design features in Electroneum, much to the credit of the team, that really is trying to get back to that, figuring out a cryptocurrency that's for public mass adoption, one that's easy for everybody to use, one that people can participate equally in and earn equally in, to give them an incentive to get in. When you have difficulty mining coins in the way that it is now, then many people will not participate, because when you have something like Electroneum and there's little to no risk and the strength is in numbers. But when you have something that's heavily manipulated by special computer hardware specifically designed for that, then you don't have the kind of public excitement for it that you have with something like Electroneum. So Electroneum is really trying to change things up, and I'm not saying that it's going to replace Bitcoin, or it's going to get into those top few cryptocurrencies, but Electroneum is really something that's rewarding for the people that are signing up and using it, because you're getting these coins for free, and hopefully in the future they'll be worth more. Now there are about 15 billion coins or something like that that's supposed to be in circulation, so the odds of Electroneum jumping in price, making that price getting as high as Dash has been, or as Ethereum has been, that's probably not possible, just given the market cap that would be required in order to have your Electroneum worth $200. It's just not realistic at this point. It would have to be many times more valuable in total market cap than Bitcoin is, and more so maybe than the entire kind of economy over here in many of these coins. So what is going on out there right now is that there's so many of these coins being developed, but not many of them stand out in the way that Electroneum does, and that's what's been behind the rush, so the instant payments are now functional, the wallet is working, and anyone can mine on any Android device, and that's good. Now, in terms of some of the downsides of Electroneum, the system can be manipulated. Someone can create many different instances of these Android emulations and just hack at it and create 100 different accounts and go at it. Right now, there's no the security that's in place is more kind of regulatory required security, kind of know your customer laws, and they're getting 2 emails and a phone number from people, which makes it more difficult to just open hundreds of accounts. But it's still possible because of things like Google Voice. When people have a lot of email accounts, you could sign up for a lot of free phone numbers and just create these accounts and go at it, which I'm sure a lot of people are doing. But at the same time, there's many people that are downloading the wallet and just keeping the wallet on their phone, and because it's simulated, it's not actually destroying the processor on your phone or the hardware or anything like that. So Electroneum is going to keep rising. Where it's going to go, nobody can tell you, but right now, in terms of trying to grow the crypto sphere, it's difficult because many people have heard of cryptocurrency. A lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth in cryptocurrency because of how wild the swings have been. And really, the complaints that you hear from the average people about why they don't think Bitcoin can work, are valid. Long times for confirmation, very expensive fees for making transactions, and things like that. I mean, as long as you have situations like that in place, then you're not going to get the average Joe to sign up and start using Bitcoin because they see flaws that are inherent in the system. And so Electroneum is kind of taking a shot at fixing some of those problems, at looking at those problems and figuring out how we can move forward with them. And the mobile mining that kind of limits how much each person can put in, that's great. If Electroneum would go in and then further restrict miners from getting on board, kind of by doing one account per IP address, that would make it a lot more difficult. That would require people to have 100 accounts and start mining that way. They would have to go out of their way to get a lot of different IP addresses. And I know you can spoof IP addresses, but that creates a lot more work. And it's just, I think personally that putting the IP address one per account would be something very useful that would create even more fairness. And I think that there's other things Electroneum should be working on, like getting the ability to buy and sell Electroneum from the app. And I know that's difficult because of the regulations in the UK. So Electroneum is in the process of trying to establish themselves as a real bank in the UK, which is it's awkward when you think about it, because they're trying to take a very traditional regulatory framework and apply it here to something that's very untraditional, that framework was not designed to encompass. So I think the better way to do that would have been to kind of incorporate in the US and use maybe New York's bit license and a money transmitter license. That would make it easier just to do this back and forth selling to other people. and allow the right from the app without having to go through exchanges, which complicates things and makes it more difficult for the average person to want to deal with, because no one wants a currency that you have to buy Bitcoin for and then convert the Bitcoin to that, and in the process you have to do the trading yourself. I mean, yes, there's things like Shapeshift, but at the end of the day, it's difficult to keep track of. It's difficult to maintain, so it's not something that most people are doing. So that being said, I think Electroneum has a great future, and everybody should get into it. If you have an Android phone, there's no risk involved with you at all mining it, and you should do it before it's too late and before the difficulty goes up and there's too many miners, and then whatever you're making is just going to be peanuts compared to what people are making now in terms of how many Electroneum you're mining per day. So sign up now, everybody. I'm going to put a link to my referral code in the bottom, and hopefully you'll use my referral code to sign up for Electroneum. I get a tiny drop of Electroneum every time you do that. Nothing really worth even a fraction of a penny, but hopefully one day that won't be the case.